Welcome to Forex DayBreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex DayBreak episode 6. In this daily Forex update, I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyze using EURGBP principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 14th of August 2015. Show notes for this episode can be found at forexdaybreak.com/6. Now let's get started. Okay, let's dive straight into the currency markets. Let's see first EURUSD, which has gone higher. I have labeled the latest peak as minute wave A and the recent decline, and now the upwards move are part of minute wave B correction. I think this correction is still in force, possibly getting more complex, probably making a new high or possibly making new high, but I don't think this is the end of this correction, or the another option is that the peak is not yet minute wave A if the upwards trend keeps going. Key levels on EURUSD are quite the same as before. On the upside, the latest 2 peaks are the resistance levels at 112.15, and on the downside, support, immediate support is the latest minute wave D peak at 111.27. Those levels should contain this pair today. Okay, how would we then trade this today? In my opinion, this correction has still more decline on its sleeve, so I wouldn't go and trade this upwards just yet. I would wait until there's a clear signal that this upwards motion is going to continue. So I wouldn't trade this at this moment, but I'm bullish on EURUSD on the midterm. I'm expecting this to go near 115 levels when the corrective wave has ended. So there will be good opportunities to trade this to the upside. But at this point I would wait and see how this correction, this minute wave B correction is going to form, and would wait for next impulsive sign to the upside. Okay, let's move on to dollar yen. The decline has resumed on dollar yen. The trend line I have drawn on the chart, which connects the latest lows, has contained the upside and acted as a resistance level. I'm expecting more downside on dollar yen, and if this is going to form an expanded flat correction, then we should see a decline below the latest low of wave A around 123, a little lower than that. Key levels on dollar yen are that support level at 123.78 is next on the downside, and immediate resistance is still the trend line at 124.6 approximately. This can be traded down. I'm expecting this to continue declining towards the 123 level, so we are now at 124.4. There is nice 150 pip trade there, so this can be traded to the downside for the remainder of this C wave. Next is pound dollar. Here we can see more or less the same. The sideways correction is still forming. I haven't changed my labeling yet, but if we get more downside on this, then this correction is not yet over. My wave count is proposing that this would go higher, but as of now there is no impulsive structure to the upside. The price is now 156.15 and a clean break from this sideways range would be first signal that would propose more upside. So maybe 156.7 levels when we reach from there more upside, then this is looking more bullish. But now hard to say what is going to come next. I wouldn't trade this pair at the moment. I would like to see a clean break from this range first and then check the situation based on that. Key levels on here, like before, this whole range can be counted as more or less resistance area. This level that I mentioned, 156.7, 156.8, maybe even 157 flat would be the key level to break through when this decides to go higher. On the downside, the lows of the range 154.65 will be the support for pound dollar and should contain if there is going to be a more downside. So I wouldn't trade this at the moment. Next up is Euro Pound. Euro Pound has moved slightly higher and is looking to continue the upwards move. The wave structure here is still unclear. I haven't labeled any of the recent price action from the low, which is 695 approximately. We are now 71.41 and the resistance upside has held for now, which is 71.6. I would like to see a breakthrough from that resistance level and possibly even the next resistance at 72.2 quite nicely. So those levels I would like to see first broken through before trading this and getting a more clear wave structure to the upside. I'm expecting this to go higher, but I wouldn't trade this at this moment. This is more or less on the sideways range on a larger scale, so I would like to see clean break through those resistance levels before trading this pair. Next, Euro Yen, more upside also on Euro Yen. We are now probably a sub minuette degree wave 3 forming it. It looks like we should get one more small upwards move before larger correction. This can be traded to the upside. I'm expecting quite more upside on this pair. At the moment the wave structure is quite messy, not exactly sure what is the current wave we are in, probably a very small degree wave 4. So there should be one more push higher. We are now 138.76 and the key levels on Euro Yen are that 138.88 is the next resistance on the upside. 137.785 will be the support on the downside. Also 138 flat is a support, actually quite strong support level. So those levels should contain 138 and 137.785 should contain the downside if this is a smaller fourth wave correction. So I'm looking for this to go higher and possibly reach eventually around the latest midterm high, which is 141 around. Next is Pound Yen, and the wave structure here is looking more complex than before. I have revised slightly this wave count and there's a possible triangle forming, and this would mean that we are still on minute wave 2 correction, and possibly the sideways motion is continuing further. We might get next a decline around 193 levels, around 193, perhaps even lower 192.6 if this is going to form a triangle on this minuette wave B position. This is slightly early to say, but since there is 3 wave divisions, now I have counted 3 wave divisions, maybe 4, so that would propose a triangle for this B wave position. Key levels on pound yen: upside resistance 195.22, and of course the trend lines of this triangle will keep this contained if this is going to be a legitimate triangle. So 194.74 would be the upside resistance also, and like I said before, this 193, 192.5 perhaps the lower trend line on this triangle, possible triangle, not confirmed yet. I wouldn't trade this at the moment since this is too uncertain. If we get a push higher and pound yen breaks the trend line on the triangle, then the wave structure is something else and we are continuing to upwards move. Okay, next we have Euro Canadian. Euro Canadian has moved higher and is looking to break to new highs. The upside is quite open, and next level on the upside is 1464, and this dates back to December 2014. That level is the highest peak on the previous minor wave 4 triangle, so quite strong resistance should that move to those levels. There is not much to go towards that level. On the downside, 144.9 is the recent minute wave A high and should contain the low. It hasn't actually acted as a very strong support level. It has been a resistance level couple of times, but as a support it hasn't held that well. But Euro Canadian is looking bullish. I wouldn't trade this since the structure is very overlapping and there is no clear wave structure to the upside. If we are on minute wave C, like the wave count is proposing, eventually we should see a nice impulsive wave structure, and that can then be traded towards the upside if we get more of this upwards move. Also, if we get a break through that old resistance level at 146.4, there is more upside, and next level is 147.3, so there is upside potential in this pair. Next is and last is US dollar Canadian dollar, and here the fourth wave correction is still in force and probably will be for a while. We are now trading at 136.7, and we are right on the area of the previous fourth wave now. The low that I'm expecting this to reach is 128.67 approximately, so the previous fourth wave low should contain the decline in US dollar Canadian. Upside resistance will be 131 psychological level, and also previous minuette wave 3 peak is right around those levels. Since US dollar Canadian is on a corrective wave 4, I wouldn't trade this. I would wait for the correction to end and then trade the last impulsive wave higher, which should give plenty of opportunities and is much more safer to trade and easier to trade than these choppy and overlapping corrections. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Visit the show notes at forexdaybreak.com/6 and you can leave your comments on that page. Thanks for listening, and now go make some profits. I will see you next week. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.forexdaybreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.